SwayamPrabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Alright, we're now on to subpart 2 of the section 3, which was concepting and building. We will be speaking now about top 5 ideas. We earlier saw how we generate ideas. We learned about the way brainstorming is done and what are the different benefits and drawbacks of brainstorming. We learned how there's a more effective way to do brainstorming. So those of you in organizations that typically are set up to do brainstorming, you can try a slightly different way. We also spoke about other methods of ideating that helps unlock some of those clogs that happen in our mind when we're trying to come up with creative ideas. And so now we're going to speak about top 5 ideas, which is one technique, one simple tool that can be quite effective in ideating in teams. So it is something that is used not just during ideating, but it can be used in different situations. So it's essentially called top 5 ideas. And what is it? Simply ask, what are the top 5 ideas or themes sticking out to you right now? So what are the top 5 ideas or themes sticking out to you right now? Why does that make sense? Why is it a powerful technique? Because 5 is a comfortable number. You know, when you ask people to ideate, say come up with ideas, and if it's like an open-ended thing, it almost seems so intimidating that it gets difficult to come up with ideas. But when you tell someone that I want you to just come up with 5 ideas, it seems very achievable. It seems very doable, that it's within my ability to come up 5 ideas, I can do that, right? So that's what top 5 ideas is all about. And as I mentioned, it can be used at various stages in the process, ideally used during the ideation phase, and you can use it progressively as well as repeatedly during the ideation phase. So you use the top 5 ideas initially to generate 5 concepts, and then you kind of refine it, revise it, and then come up with a different idea, and then you use top 5 ideas to again ideate on it to say how do you make it better. So it's a pretty powerful way to do this, right? And 5 again is a nice, comfortable, limited number. And it can spark new thinking on anything, right? So we'll look at some examples after this. What is the general process of working with top 5 ideas, right? Gather your team. Again, this is a very powerful technique for working with a team, right? So gather your team, have everyone write the top 5 ideas jumping out at them. Again, 1 idea per post-it. I think you've gotten comfortable with this concept now. So top 5 ideas jumping out at them, and also limit the time. 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever seems comfortable, but it should not be 2 hours. It needs to be a very defined, finite kind of time. So top 5 ideas that are jumping out at you. Then once everyone's come up with 5 ideas, let's say you're a team of 5 people, very quickly you've generated 25 ideas. So that's the power of the top 5. And let's say even 10 of them are no good. There's something that you would discard right away. Even then you have 15 ideas right off the bat in a period of 15 or 10 minutes, right? So you share those top 5 ideas with each other. You discuss it, ask questions, have people clarify their ideas, have them explain to you what they meant by the idea, what was in their thought, what is the angle of the problem they were taking to solve. And that kind of thing. So it generates a bunch of discussion, and that itself is very inspirational. Oftentimes from one person's idea you get inspired to create something else. And then you would cluster similar ideas. You'll find people have ideas that are aligned, similar kind of thoughts. You would put them together, and together they become something bigger than that one idea. So this is how it works, and the rationale for it. Why does it work? Because every one of us has innate abilities to invent and solve problems. This is the belief. This is what I believe in. This is what a lot of people believe in. And the fact that if we believe that everyone has this innate ability to solve problems, then we are able to hand this tool and put it in the hands of anybody on the project team and say, come up with ideas. Okay? It's not that the ideation has to happen only by a select few people. All right? And if you remember, I introduced this quote to you earlier from Dr. Herbert Simon, who says, everyone designs who devises courses of action aimed at changing existing situations into preferred ones. Existing situations into preferred ones. And if you think about it for a moment, you're all involved in changing existing situations into preferred ones. You're all involved in the desire to change existing situations into preferred ones. And that is the rationale behind the top 5 ideas, that everyone can ideate. It doesn't have to be one person with a pen, or it doesn't have to go to just the ideation department. It is something that we as a team can come up together, and the power is in the team's ideas. It's not the team's ideas, but individual ideas of the team that add up to much bigger than the sum of the parts. Okay? So what are some of the benefits of top 5 ideas? It helps you reveal opportunities for design, and again very quickly, because it's a limited number 5, you can come up with them pretty quickly, and it quickly reveals opportunities for design. It helps you select from multiples. If you are sitting with 25, it makes it very easy to consider them, reconsider, discuss, think, prioritize, rate, and then select ideas, right? It helps isolate key ideas. Then as a team, when you're trying to evaluate these, you would allocate criteria for selection, and then as a team you would select and isolate the key ideas, and it helps then uncover themes and helps you to strategize. Okay? So those are the benefits of these top 5 ideas. So this is how it looks like in action. You have the team, everyone's sitting with a stack of post-it notes, everyone's writing, no one's speaking to each other. Everyone is writing their own top 5 ideas. Okay? So gather your team, have everyone write the top 5 ideas, and 1 idea per post-it. Okay? So that's the first step. Then you share your top 5 ideas. Everyone puts them up on the board, and it's all up there for everyone to take a look at. Everything's up on the board for people to look at, and step back. Put everything up and step back. Take a couple of moments to look at it, read it, try and understand it before you then start asking, okay, what did you mean by that? Okay, does this connect with so-and-so thought you expressed earlier? And things like that, right? So put up all your ideas on the wall, and then ask questions and discuss each. So, each person would explain the idea that they came up with, and, elaborate it, articulate it, speak about how they envisioned it. And very important point, draw your ideas. Even though it's a post-it note, it is not too small to draw. Okay? So draw on them, it helps articulate the ideas even better. So ask questions, discuss, ask for clarification, and then start to cluster similar ideas. look at all the different ideas and say, maybe this and this go together. And these go together. So start to put them in groups. Then you'll start to see patterns emerging. So this was part of an activity in which we were trying to understand and ideate on the breathing difficulties that people face in urban living. Okay, so what I would like to speak to you now about this notion of, just like many of us say, I don't know how to draw. Many of us say, I'm not creative at all. I don't know how to come up with ideas. So I wanted to introduce you to Tata. Tata has an annual innovation award, right? They have, and they've introduced this over the last several years in order to recognize people who are trying to come up with new ideas, new innovations, and that as a way to inspire others, as a way to create an impetus for more innovation in the organization. So they have introduced these annual innovation awards, and they have them in 3 categories, right? The first one is innovation of a commercial success, something that went through the innovation process, went through the production and has gone out in the market, and it's become a commercial success, right? So innovation of a commercial success is the first category. The second category is innovation in the leading edge, innovation in something that is perhaps like a breakthrough design, something very very leading edge, very new, trailblazing kind of thing. That's the second category. Now the third category is very interesting. It's called innovative projects in which team members did their best but failed. A Dare to Try award, right? Dare to try. And this is a brilliant idea that you worked on it, it didn't work, but it's still being awarded. It is still being recognized for the fact that you dared to try, that you were willing to take a risk. You were willing to sort of put your neck out and try. This is what, when we say that, creative confidence, when we say that be prepared to fail, and don't treat it as failure. So all of those things, it involves a kind of risk-taking mentality. And what happens when you have a risk-taking mentality is you're ready to go and push beyond those boundaries and ideate beyond the borders where some brilliant solutions might lie. So this is what Tatas are recognizing in Dare to Try, all right? So interesting statistics is they analyzed the reasons for these failures, the reasons why these, the ones that failed, why they had failed, and they found that 50% of them are because of technological barriers, 26% are because of non-acceptance by the user. Now you understand what that means, right? Non-acceptance by the user. And 24% was because of commercial non-viability. And initially people were very hesitant. They were shy, they were uncomfortable to come out and say that, this is the idea I tried and it failed. But gradually the numbers have started rising. It rose from 12 in 2007 to 87 in 2012. And I'm sure the numbers are bigger and bigger, right? Now, couple of things I'd like to point out to you. Remember this diagram where we spoke about desirability, usability, we spoke about viability, and we spoke about feasibility. So you can see that, this was this number, non-acceptance by user was this number, and commercial viability was this number. We are trying to work on how do you make products that are innovative and people-centric and therefore innovative. Innovative because they are people-centric. So it's interesting to give a moment in thinking that perhaps this number can come down a lot. this part of it, which was non-acceptance by user, possibly because when we design, we don't think of all the things that the user's considerations might be, and therefore there's a mismatch, there's a gap, right? So this was a nice, interesting sort of connect back to a lot of the design thinking related, people-centered related ideas that we're talking about. Okay?